always stumps me because I never really know what people really want to know. But anyways, I am Evelyn Latrice. I am an I guess I could say now, an award nominated author of African American romance, urban romance. I'm a romance girly. I love all things romance. I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. Um, I'm a veteran. Yeah, that's me.
You said
I'm a
that you're a
Gemini.
veteran.
Huh?
You said that you're a veteran.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service. That's dope.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right. Okay,
thank you.
so it sounds like you have worn plenty of hats. What got you into writing books?
What got me into writing books was, first of all, I've always been a fan of literature. English, social studies, those were always, my favorite subjects in school. So I've always been an avid reader. Um, and all my teachers have always told me that I write well. So, but what really got me into writing was I moved here to Atlanta um 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years this year. And I didn't know anybody. It was just me, my husband, and my kids. I didn't work in a traditional job setting, so meeting friends was kind of like non-existent. Then I found out I was pregnant with my last baby, and I was just like, I think I want to write a book. And I wrote a book, and then I sent it to a publisher who did sign me. However, she ended up closing her publishing company before I was able to put out my first book. And then I signed again to a different publisher probably like a year later, and I've been writing ever since.
All right. Look at you go. So it sounds like you definitely got the full spectrum of the writing
Yeah,
experience. You got to
very
experience it
early.
all. But so it sounds like you definitely you got the spectrum of it. You know exactly what it's
Hmm.
like at this point.
Right.
What does your writing space look like? Like, do you go to Starbucks and write? Do you go ahead and pull up to a certain corner of your house? What does that experience look like for you?
Um, I I have gone to Starbucks before to try to write, but I'm too nosy. Um, I am too nosy and I love to people watch. So yeah, Starbucks just wasn't gonna work for me. So traditionally, I do have a home office that is supposed to be fully dedicated to me. It's girly, it's pink. I would show it, but it's a mess because I'm a creative and it's always messy. It was supposed to be dedicated to me. However, my 8-year-old finds herself in here making arts and crafts and stuff. But this is traditionally where um I really pump out most of my books. Every now and then when I need to get a change of scenery, I'll go sit on the couch and bring my laptop. But for the most part, I sit at a desk and I write. And I have a standing desk as well, so it can go up and down. So if I'm tired of sitting, I'll stand. But yeah, most of the time I'm at my desktop writing. That's where I pump out my books.
That is so cool. I've seen some people's writing spaces, and it's just like I'm like, oh my god, that looks so neat. But then there's kind of me,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is my designated space, but there's no way I could ever like really be like, all right, so come take a tour because, like you said, kids come and they do their activity.
Right, right. And I try to keep it clean, but that's just not realistic. And it's weird because it's literally the first room you see when you walk in my house. My office is in the front of my house. Good thing I don't have people that really come over because they'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah, but I prefer a house that looks lived in versus a house where I step
Me
inside and I'm like,
too.
do I need to put my slippers on?
Right, right. Me too. I do prefer a lived in house.
Absolutely. All right. And then I know you said that you are signed with a publisher currently, correct?
I'm not signed with a publisher
You're not.
currently. No, no longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just fully independent. And so far I have really this isn't my first time being independent, but I think this is the time that I'm going to stay independent.
Yes.
Because this time around, I I just feel like I'm doing it better.
Okay.
It just feels better this time around. So fingers crossed.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed with you too. I'm gonna cross my fingers and my toes, my locks and everything. So we got it good
Right.
for you. All right. And then when it comes to marketing, like how has the author experience of marketing your books been? What advice would you give? You know,
Whew. The marketing experience. It is my least favorite experience. Just because I came into the industry at a weird time, and I like to call it like the Cardi B effect of everything. Where it's if you have a strong social media presence and people like you, they will buy anything that you put out. The issue for me is I don't like social media. I don't care for social media. In person, I'm a really, really fun, outgoing person, but on social media, I'm super duper private. So bridging that gap was kind of hard, especially when um my superiors were kind of telling me, you need to do social media, you need to do social media, you need to do social media. This time around, with my most successful book, I did social media the way that I typically do social media, put the book cover out there, um, and then I put the book out eventually, and it worked this time. The most and the best promotion I've gotten is TikTok and the reviewers reviewing my books, telling other people that they're really good. That has been, to me, what has worked the best. Me personally, I don't think that I did anything different this time around. I don't know what was what was different about it, but
right?
yeah, I'm still kind of private when it comes to social media. I don't know. It's like I want to be Cardi B, but I want to be Beyonce too.
There you go. It is hard skating that line in between. There's a thin
Yeah.
line between Cardi and Beyonce.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a very thin line, but it's kind of like who do you kind of, what I mean? Like I feel like it's when you come into something. If you came into something before social media, I think that you could kind of be more on the Beyonce scale. If you
Right.
come into something after social media, we need you to be Cardi B.
Right. Right. I agree with you on that. Now, I heard you say your most successful. So, which book would you feel like is your most successful book, and which book of yours do you wish more authors knew about or readers knew about?
My most successful book is To the Moon. Um, the book I wish people knew about. Honestly, I wish people knew about all of them. I wish they knew about all of them because I can honestly say that I have not put out a book between when I first started, I think 2018 to now, that I don't feel like is a really good book. A lot of times as creatives, we'll say, where I'm at now in my career, I kind of want to go back and revamp those books or, take
Right.
them down because they're so cringeworthy. The most cringeworthy thing about those books would probably be they're not edited as well as my to date books are, but they're not horribly edited either.
Right.
You'll just find, a little bit more mistakes or whatever. But my writing style has been the same from
Right.
the beginning. Now, do I think that with every book that I put out, I get better and better? Yes. And I always say that, and I don't know if it's, cocky or whatever, but like To the Moon is a really good book, but I know my next book to me is going to be better than To the Moon. But that's just because I really pride myself on being better every day. Like I'm better today than I was yesterday, and I'm going to be better tomorrow than I am today. So I have to put out a better book the next time around than the previous time. But that's just the way, I set up my mentality and my creative thinking. But I really wish people knew about all of them just because the emotional pull that I feel like I have kind of mastered, especially with To the Moon, it's always been there. Like
Okay.
from the first book to now, it's always been there. I'm not a heavily emotional person in my real life,
Mm.
which makes it so easy for me to put it on paper.
Ooh, you're
Yeah.
tapping
It's
into your natural talents there.
yeah, it's so easy for me to put it on paper. Expressing feelings, I think I can do that in person. It's just I don't care enough sometimes
Mm.
to be like, yeah, I need to show you that I'm mad. Nah, I don't need to show you that I'm mad.
I need to know the horoscope sign now. Now you got.
I'm a Gemini.
Okay, you should have led with that.
I'm a Gemini.
We got a Gemini author in the building.
Yeah. Is it that obvious?
I knew you weren't a water sign. I'll tell you that for sure.
When I
You're
said
not
emotion,
perfect
yeah,
Pisces, Cancer, or none of that.
yeah,
So
mm-hmm,
it wasn't giving
mm-mm,
that at
mm-mm.
all.
Yeah, no.
Oh
I
my
have a
god.
Pisces and he's a water baby.
Oh, February or March?
March.
Go March Pisces.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him. He's gonna have his next book dropping soon. I'm rooting for the March.
Right.
So I know you mentioned TikTok. Where can we find you on social media? Where are you? What are your handles?
It's Evelyn Latrice everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not really active on TikTok. I'm trying to be. Um, and TikTok is my least favorite social media app,
Mm,
but it's the one that is the best for my books
right.
right now, right? So, but I'm trying to be, but it's Evelyn Latrice on all platforms.
Okay. All right. And then for my last question for you, what events may we be seeing you at in the next year or two in person or virtually, or is that not really your cup of tea? What's going on?
Events are not really my cup of tea. However, I will be doing an event this year in July, July 27th, with Miss Candace Book Brunch and Mimosas. That
Oh,
is the only one that I have confirmed on now. If somebody wants to invite me, I might be up to it, but I don't know. I'm not really like I'm an event attendee.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, I'm not really a vendor at it. Like it's not really my thing. But who knows? I told myself that I was gonna step out more this go around. So I might be at something in the near future besides Books Brunch and Mimosas with Miss Candy. July 27th. And that is in it's not Detroit, but it's one of those cities
You know
outside of
what? Why
Detroit.
do we do Detroit like that? We always just bunch them all in like those
Yeah,
northern cities. We be like, it's not Detroit or Chicago, but it's up
right.
this.
It's right. It's right there. It's right outside of Detroit. I think it's. I want to say Flemington, but I think I'm wrong. I think I'm
Well,
wrong.
you're gonna be there, so they'll
Right.
find you.
They'll find me. Go on Mrs. Candace's page, or even my page. It's on my page, the Books Brunch and Mimosas. I think there are just a few tickets left if anybody wants to come. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you dropped that information for us. I really, really appreciate you getting on here because I know I came out of left field entirely when I sent you that unsolicited message. I'm like, hey, would you be interested?
Yeah, but like I say, I told myself I was gonna put myself out there more and do more. So I'm really open to all author, reader interviews and stuff, just so the people could get to know me because clearly you're not gonna get to know me on social media because I'm so private.
Well, that's completely understandable. I'm glad I got to get to know you on here because I was like, let me shoot my author shot and see
Yeah,
what
you
happens.
definitely do. We sometimes we don't think people want, to interview us or, get to know us. So keep doing that. Like just slide on in these author inboxes and be like, hey, Do you want to do an author interview?
Right, right. And that's what I'm gonna keep doing, because what's the worst thing they can say is no. So
Right, right. And they may say no now, but eventually they're gonna wish they told you yes, because I see you just being a force to be reckoned with just by being courageous enough to say, hey, I'm doing an author interview. Like that takes a lot of courage, and that really means that you are dedicated to what it is you're trying to do. So if they say no now, they're gonna wish they said yes in the future.
I'll be here both times. I'll be here both times.
Right, right, right.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much. I am going to
Thank
be in
you.
touch with you. I have to get some author promo things from you, some of your book covers, any
Okay,
images you're going to let me include in here. You just got to shoot it
okay.
over to me.
I sure will.
All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.